Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining me again. How are you? Well, today's topic is gonna be about something very personal, It's a very personal thing that I think I should have addressed this topic before. It's something personal, but it's something that English learners should know. It's a term, okay, that English learners should know of, okay? So, it's actually kind of a secret. And the secret is, I am a grammar Nazi. Yes, mates, I am a grammar Nazi. I don't know if you know what being a grammar Nazi means, but I'm gonna explain to you in this video today. So, what is a grammar Nazi? According to the Urban Dictionary, a grammar Nazi is someone who believes it's their duty to attempt to correct any grammar and/or spelling mistakes they observe. So I don't know if you have those people on Facebook who are always correcting grammar mistakes and also misspelled words. So they are always like commenting on that and correcting the mistakes people make. So those are the typical grammar Nazis. Well, first of all, you've got to understand that the term Nazi is not connected to politics or to parties, to Hitler or anything, no. So the term grammar Nazi is just a term that started being used a couple of years ago, and it's used to describe those people who think the other people should speak according to what the grammar says, what the grammar states, okay? But please don't get me wrong, because I am a student, I study linguistics, literature, languages, so I know that the most important is the communication, is being able to get some message across. It's not really about the form, it's not really about the structure of the sentence, about grammar. No, I know and I value different ways of speaking, okay? That's what the linguistics talk about and discuss, okay? So I know that, I am aware of this. But being a grammar Nazi is not something that you control, It's just like, grammar has always been some kind of hobby for me. I really like answering grammar questions and, doing activities about it. I really like seeing how the language works. Because in the past, in the beginning, I used to study grammar a lot, like using grammar books and answering questions and understanding how grammar works. So, unconsciously, I've become a grammar Nazi. I'm going to talk about the perks of being a grammar Nazi. But before, I'm going to mention the disadvantages of being a grammar Nazi. The first one is about comprehension. For example, if I'm talking to a person and the person has been talking for 5 minutes, I assure you that I'm not going to understand 100% of what the person said. The message, because I will be focusing on the structure, on the form, on the person's use of grammar. So I'm going to be analyzing the person, because that's what a grammar Nazi does. The grammar Nazi, they usually correct people on the spot. Like, if you make a mistake, a grammar Nazi will be there to correct. I don't like doing this because it's very impolite, but in my head, in my mind, I'm always analyzing people while they are talking. And it's not like the message, I'm analyzing the grammar. So this is very problematic because I sometimes get myself asking people to repeat what they were saying because I was too much focused on the form, on the structure, rather than on the message itself. The second point is, sometimes I am too hard on myself. Because even though I know making mistakes is not a problem, it's part of the learning process, when it comes to analyzing myself, well, I hate making mistakes. Grammar mistakes especially, So right now, for example, if I make a grammar mistake here, and I identify this grammar mistake, I'm gonna think about it for the rest of the day, because it really annoys me, So yeah, that's why it's a negative point, because sometimes I punish myself quite a lot, just because of a silly mistake I made, The third disadvantage of being a grammar Nazi is because I get really annoyed when people make silly mistakes. Especially those people who are not supposed to make those mistakes because they are in position of power, they have some kind of authority. There was a day when I was talking to one of my coordinators, and she said, "Thanks God." I don't know if you have seen a video I made. In this video I say that it's not "thanks God," it's "thank God." So this is a very simple and very silly mistake, but you know, it annoys me a lot. For example, if a person says he likes football, everyone knows that he likes football because it's present simple. So these very silly mistakes just get me very annoyed when I shouldn't be, you know. But as I am a grammar Nazi, I care a lot about it. And the fourth and probably the biggest problem, the biggest disadvantage of being a grammar Nazi is because I have to control myself quite a lot. Like every day I have to hold myself back every day because, for example, if I am talking to a person and this person makes an English mistake, a grammar mistake especially, the first impulse is correcting the person. That's what I would do. Like, the first impulse, the first thing I think of is correcting the person. But as I know this is very annoying, boring and impolite, I have to hold myself back. It's a very exhaustive activity, you know, so that's why it's a very negative point, especially because I am a teacher, so my students make mistakes. I know that it's part of the learning process, and I totally understand, and I don't correct my students on the spot. It's not nice to correct your students every time they make a mistake. So I have to control myself, I have to hold myself back. It requires a lot of control. You have to hold yourself back, and this is very tiring. But then, being a grammar Nazi is not only about negative points. Being a grammar Nazi is also nice, mates. So I'm going to talk about two things that I really like about being a grammar Nazi. The first one is, I am aware of the mistakes I make. Some people, when they are speaking, if they make a mistake, sometimes they just don't notice they have made that mistake. So they just move on and, continue the conversation. But when you are a grammar Nazi, you know how the language works. So, for example, if I'm speaking too fast, it's more likely for me to make mistakes because I'm speaking too fast, so it's like a lot of information, and this happens a lot even in my mother tongue, even when I am speaking Portuguese. But whenever I make a mistake, a grammar mistake, I know that I have made that mistake. So I have time to correct myself, or like, I am just aware of the mistakes I make, you know? So if I make a mistake, I know that I have made it, so I can correct myself. That's a very good thing because it gives me some independence. I don't really need to have another person correcting me, okay? So yeah, that's a positive thing about being a grammar Nazi. The second positive thing is I am able to explain how the English language works, you know, based on the English grammar. So as a teacher, I have many students who ask me questions about grammar. So for example, if a student of mine asks me, "Teacher, why should I say I am tired of studying or not tired of study?" So this is a question that for me to give a good answer, I have to rely on grammar. So I would say, okay, because after prepositions, you have to use the verb with ing. So you say, "I am tired of studying," not study, because of is a preposition, you know. So this is grammar, you know. I'm using grammar to explain to them. So yeah, that's what being a grammar Nazi means, mate. It's very, very problematic and confusing. It's good sometimes. It requires a lot of self-control because otherwise you can be just a boring person who is always correcting people. So mates, now that you know what a grammar Nazi is, I would like to know your opinion. What do you think about being a grammar Nazi? Are you a grammar Nazi? Do you know anyone who is also a grammar Nazi? So leave a comment below to talk about it, okay? Well, but don't close the video yet, okay? I have a challenge for you, okay? I'm gonna read a text that I have written, and this text has got many grammar mistakes. So I'm gonna ask you to spot the mistakes, correct the mistakes, and put the correction here in the comments, okay? So next video I'm gonna correct the mistakes and comment on each mistake, and also say the names of the people who could identify all the mistakes in the text, okay? The text is, pay attention. I work as a teacher since 2013, and I really enjoy to teach English because I am in love for English. Every day I try to get new informations about the language in the internet. I think if I hadn't developed the habit of study constantly, I wouldn't learn it so fast. Okay, so this is the text, mate. This is the challenge. I want you to spot the mistakes and put the corrections here. I will say the names of the people who could identify all of the mistakes next video, okay? So mates, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it, okay? And see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, okay? Give me some thumbs up as well. And bye bye.